E3 is something that exists and is gonna come. It's next 2 weeks from now. It's soon. Very soon. We've had a long tradition here with the channel with the predictions for Nintendo Directs, but E3 is always a special time of year. And you all know what that means. That's right. It's time to bring out the special suit. If you could just give me privacy for just a second. Just 1 second. Don't look. I'm here to give you my predictions for Nintendo E3 2019 presentation directly to you. So let's just jump right into it. Talk about first the games we know about. First of all, Pokemon Sword and Shield. Considering they just barely had their little press conference board meeting thing talking about, you know, future games coming out. And now there's going to be a Pokemon Sword and Shield Nintendo Direct literally next week. Doesn't really make sense to predict and talk about it since it's kind of already happening, and it'll just be Sword and Shield stuff. But in the context of E3 anyways, it doesn't really make sense if they'll have a trailer for the Direct and then another trailer for... No, doesn't make sense. As far as Trails live stream, I could definitely see doing some gameplay of it. Perhaps maybe having a playable demo of some sorts on the show floor. But beyond that, I don't really see tons of new Pokemon information outside of really the Direct that's going to be showing up. Like, the Direct will probably show off the brand new legendaries. That'll be the figurehead for both of the two games for Sword and Shield. But as far as the E3 presentation itself, I don't really expect to see anything of that. Fire Emblem Three Houses, I'm sure we'll get its own section. We'll quickly go over and talk about some things there. Those are always kind of a low point of the Directs for me personally. Not that I'm not excited and looking forward to that game. It's just like, it's hard to present it in an exciting way without, you know, just showing long, tedious cutscenes explaining characters that we've never seen or heard of before. Just kind of the nature of Fire Emblem. Sure, we'll get a release date for that. I'm expecting probably late fall, early fall, late summer-ish. Later in the year. What else? There's no other time frame anyways. To me, it makes the most sense probably September if Luigi's Mansion 3 is going to be in October, kind of to be spooky. Speaking of which, Luigi's Mansion 3. To quickly go over that, I think we'll obviously see some new stuff on it finally, and we'll get a release date. This is one of the new games this year that we don't really know much about, so this is a perfect place, obviously, to show that off and talk about it. I think a big focus of this year's E3 is actually going to be Super Mario Maker. While maybe it might not have much of a presence during the E3 presentation itself, considering we just barely had a Super Mario Maker Direct. They not only have a Super Mario Maker 2 tournament happening right before the Splatoon and Smash Bros. World Finals, the game also going to be coming out within 2 weeks of the show. And honestly, it could even be this year's booth theme as well, like it was Smash Bros. Last year, Breath of the Wild previous years, whatever. It might suck that, you know, they're putting such a giant focus on a game that's going to be out within weeks of E3, but it is going to be one of, if not the biggest game of the year here for Nintendo. But you know what? You guys aren't here to hear me just ramble on about games that, no doubt, obviously they're going to talk about here at 3. You're here for the juicy stuff, the predictions, the new reveals. Let's just talk about the elephant in the room already, honestly. And Smash Bros. DLC, obviously. You know, we had Piranha Plant in February, then the first Fighter Pack character was just barely in April, end of April, May. I can't even remember now. When did Joker come out? Point is, Smash has kind of been off to the side for a while, kind of doing its own thing. I think it recently got like the 3.1 update recently with like a small balance thing or whatever. But beyond like the big 3.0 update, you know, it's kind of just been, you know, doing its own thing. And from how they described how the Fighter Pack's going to work with, what, the 5 characters total spanned across the 3 years, it would make sense, of course, for there to be theoretically 2 characters a year, or technically 3 if you even include Piranha Plant at the beginning of this year. So no one's even questioned. This is the time to show off. I almost just said Animal Crossing again. This is the time to show off the newest Smash Brothers character, and theoretically it could be tying in with another announcement with E3. There's been a lot of rumors going around that Microsoft and Nintendo is doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes right now. They're kind of working on, you know, getting the Gamer Pass, or whatever it's called, working on Nintendo Switch. They already have cross-compatible playing together with Minecraft, with Xbox systems and Nintendo Switch. There's something going on there. There's something working out behind the scenes, and a lot of people are hoping this might mean a Microsoft representative in Smash Bros. Who that might be, I don't know. Some obvious answers could be Steve from Minecraft, Master Chief from Halo, I guess maybe Cuphead, but I don't know if that's as likely. The thing is, even if there is some sort of Microsoft deal going behind the scenes on with Nintendo and whatnot, it doesn't necessarily mean it has to have a Smash Brothers character as well. Like, it could, honestly, at the end of the day, it could really just be Nintendo and Microsoft teaming up just to make it so their games are compatible, or making it so, you know, the Gamer Pass can be played on the Switch, so then you can play titles like Rare Replay, Master Chief Collection, whatever, on the Switch, which would be crazy, of course. But maybe that's all it is. It really could honestly be that. So I don't want to get our hopes up too much thinking that we're definitely getting a Microsoft representative in Smash Brothers. Whoever the reveal ends up being, it's going to be a big one, because this is E3. This is the first E3 after the release of Smash Brothers. I mean, last year's E3, we got the announcement of, let's see, I think it was every character. Everyone was here. Whoever it ends up being, I think it's going to be somebody big. I personally feel like the focus of the Fighter Pass is going to be specifically on third-party characters, really big, important ones. To me, I kind of feel like the presence of these DLC fighters is to really bring in this ultimate collaboration that is Smash Bros. Ultimate. So that's all I really got to say on it. Smash Bros. Is definitely going to have some sort of presence here at E3. As far as releasing it, I don't think it's going to come out immediately after E3. Who knows? Maybe. If I could see something like, hey, look forward in the next couple of months, maybe it'll release. Also, hello? A new Kirby game? I mean, yes, Star Allies had a ton of support over, like, the year after its development, adding new content, new characters to play as, new modes and stuff. But, you know, we haven't seen anything of Kirby since, so maybe we'll see a new Kirby announcement. Those are easy and fun to just churn out. Nintendo loves to just throw Kirby in any minigame, and it'll sell. It'll sell. And look, I know, there's another elephant in the room we really need to talk about right now. It's very important. I know it's on, like, the top of your guys' predictions list. You guys just want to talk about it right now. And that's Metroid Prime 4. That was one of the most hyped things for me when they first announced that back in E3 of, what was that, 2017, right? First year of the Switch. And everyone knows they recently had an update to the development cycle, and they say they're completely starting over. Which is a shame. It just means it'll be even longer before we see it, making it not very likely to be coming here at E3. You know what? I just want to see how bad that one was. How bad was that version of Metroid Prime 4? How was it just that bad that they had to completely I just want to see how bad that was. So as far as E3, yeah, there's probably no way that they're going to be showing that off here. Okay, you know what? Fine. I'll stop beating around the bush. I'll just talk about it already. I know you guys are, like, getting sick of this. The jokes, whatever, the joke. We get the joke, okay? Just talk about it now. Fine, okay. Pikmin 4. This has been kind of a long-running joke for the longest time. I'll predict Pikmin 4 saying, hey, you know, there's room in the release calendar. They said it was done, like, 5 years ago. Why not, like, let's release it now, finally, if it apparently is a thing, right? But no, I've gotten to the point where, like, I've kind of just lost hope. There's probably no Pikmin 4. And watch, this is finally the time that they're going to show it off. Now that I've finally accepted and acknowledged that Pikmin 4 is no longer a thing, and I was just wrong all along. Alright, okay, jokes aside, let's actually talk about it now. Legend of Zelda. In the previous Indies Direct a while back, they did announce that the Necrodancer crossed Legend of Zelda. A small indie studio getting the IP rights to be able to work with the Legend of Zelda franchise to kind of bring it into their kind of game. Pretty cool. But is that all we're getting from the Legend of Zelda series this year? Well, no, because the Link's Awakening remake's actually happening. What? You forgot about that already? I could see it being a July release, honestly. I mean, granted, we haven't seen much of it, but it is, at the very least, a fairly simple game. Theoretically, they could be a lot farther in development than they kind of let on when they first showed it off. I mean, they had a fully blown 2D cinematic trailer for its first reveal. Like, that isn't just something you whip up quickly for a little press kit, you know? That takes time to storyboard, animate, draw, like, the whole shebang. So while we haven't seen anything of it besides that initial reveal, I think they're holding a lot more back than we may realize, and the game is probably a lot farther along in release. So it could be coming out within the next few months, honestly. But beyond that, I'm not sure if there's going to be any other Zelda games this year. Typically, they try to do something once a year here, you know. Sometimes there's a break or whatever, but they'll try to fill in with those spin-offs or the 2D Zelda games. But I don't know if it's necessarily time for a Breath of the Wild 2. Now, don't get me wrong, I would love that. I've been saying since, like, honestly, Breath of the Wild came out, that I would love for them to take not exactly Majora's Mask, but what, you know, similar to how Majora's Mask recycled a lot of assets from Ocarina of Time to quickly whip out a sequel with different mechanics, different whatever, you know. I would love to see them do something similar to Breath of the Wild, like a new environment to explore, but still using the physics engine that was introduced in Breath of the Wild. Some new runes, maybe some new mechanics and stuff like that. I feel like that's something realistic to ask, you know, that eventually if they did something similar, but who really knows what the future of the 3D Zeldas are gonna be at this point, because Breath of the Wild took as long as it did to make. And I'm sure they're hard at work on whatever's going to be the follow-up to that game. But realistically, we probably won't be seeing anything of it soon. And speaking of sequels, let's talk about Super Mario Odyssey 2, maybe? Again, another game. I'm not really sure if this is the time to kind of talk about that, if they're even working on something like that. Similar to Super Mario Galaxy 2, I would love to see them return to that game, reuse a lot of the physics and the game engine they already created, and create another brand new experience for Mario fans. However, this year's focus for Mario seems to be more Mario Maker 2, and they're really going to be pushing that. I don't really see them kind of announcing a Mario Odyssey 2 in the same year, and then have it come out, and be like, okay, at Christmas time, you know, when the moms just need to buy a Mario for their kids, they're gonna be looking at it too and be like, I don't know. I think it's smart for Nintendo, since they have a lot of big games coming out at the end of this year, to kind of more focus their E3 on those games. Obviously, E3 is the time to always get people hyped for up-and-coming software, and this is the place where companies and developers typically announce games that'll be coming the following year even. So I'm sure there might be a couple of surprises here and there where they do announce some crazy brand new title that we have to wait another year for. But again, I think it's in the best interest of Nintendo to kind of more focus on the end of this year, considering they didn't really have much at the beginning of the year, and the end of the year is so jam-packed. This really, you know, really want to try to push their fans towards playing all these games. I mean, they have Pokemon Sword and Shield, Fire Emblem, Luigi's Mansion, probably. Super Mario Maker, well, I guess that's in the summer. Super Mario Maker 2, which is gonna be probably the biggest year of the game. What? Alright, fine. Fine, we'll talk about it. Animal Crossing for Nintendo Switch. You've all been waiting about it. And here are my thoughts on Animal Crossing. Yes, we will see it. I think we're gonna get a blowout of information with Animal Crossing E3. I personally, I would love for this to be the focus of E3, but realistically, that might not be what we get. Because the truth is, I am like one of the biggest Animal Crossing fans ever. Probably. So no matter what, I'm going to be bouncing off my chair screaming, super excited for Animal Crossing, because this is what I've been waiting for since I've started the channel. I couldn't record new Leaf footage, so this is finally the chance where we're going to become a solely Animal Crossing YouTube channel. That's right, baby. Not really, but you know what I mean. The thing is, I just don't want to get too overhyped and excited for Animal Crossing, just in case of the scenario where they do delay it or something along the lines of that. I think it's definitely safe to say we will be seeing it here at E3, but it's hard to judge how far along they are in development. They could be playing the cards close to their chest, and even at the reveal, you know, just not show off anything just to continue to build up that hype. I mean, Nintendo knows that Animal Crossing is a very highly anticipated game. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves with the sales figures for all of its previous entries. It's a system seller. People love Animal Crossing, but it just kind of worries me that because we've seen so little of it, it could be a realistic scenario where it might be delayed and not actually coming out this year. There's a lot going on at the end of the year, if you guys hadn't noticed. Do I need to list them again? Pokemon, Pikmin 4. But Nintendo has pulled off crazier things. I mean, no one expected Xenoblade 2 to actually make it out within the first year of the Switch. Boom. Came out the first week of December. So, crazier things have happened, I guess, and theoretically they could slide it in there and just have an absolutely jam-packed end of the year. No complaints. No complaints. I just don't want to go into E3 being like, hoping they'll focus on Animal Crossing and nothing but, you know, theme the booth to it, go fully all out for it, but realistically, that's probably not going to happen. Mario Maker is going to be a big focus of this year's E3, even though, yes, it is coming out within weeks of the show. And Animal Crossing, because, you know, we don't know how far along they are in development. I mean, yes, they could have been working on it a few years now, or maybe or more hopefully been working on it since the end of development for New Leaf. But you gotta remember 3 years after New Leaf came out, they did the Welcome Amiibo update or whatever. And then before that, obviously the Happy Home Academy game. So it makes me just wonder, like, when did they stop working on that stuff and start working on this game? You know? It's just something to think about. So take that as you will. It might not happen. I want to be wrong. I want it to come out this year. I'm dying for it to come out this year, but we're going to level our expectations just in case they do delay it, because it could happen. So just, you know, pretend it will. And then if they don't, you'll be more excited. But then if they do and you're excited for it to not be, yeah, then you'll be very sad. At the end of the day, you know, E3 is all about big surprises, you know? You never really know what Nintendo's gonna show off. The hard part about this year is a lot of the games that are coming out this year in 2019, especially from E3 onward, we've not seen anything about, except for obviously Mario Maker, and then what, a couple of quick reveal trailers of the other games. So unfortunately, E3 might be a bigger focus on the games we've seen nothing of yet, but are still coming out this year. But the thing is, there's always some surprises Nintendo's gonna have. There's always some games that will be coming out in future years, as well as some quick surprises they just throw in there, like the Mario Rabbids thing. Maybe they just kept it under wraps the whole time. Maybe that game's even getting a sequel. I mean, who knows? There's definitely things to be excited about here. Like Smash Brothers definitely is going to be getting a newcomer reveal. I can't see a situation where that doesn't happen. But what I'm personally looking forward to is just the surprises. I want to be pleasantly surprised. I want to see something I wasn't expecting. And if that something I didn't know was an Animal Crossing release date for 2019, then you know what? Color me impressed, wrong, and more than grateful. I really hope, but who knows? Oh, and I guess, yeah, 3DS, that's done. That's done. Game Freak's also got that new game, like Town or whatever it's called. There was a recent screenshot updating, showing off something. Sure, we probably might see something about that. In addition to that, there's like the Battlestar Angel 2 Cops robot fighting game from Platinum. That'll probably be there too. Damien X Machina robot fighting game, that one, yeah, that'll probably be there too. What do you think? What are your predictions for Nintendo E3 2019? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to give this video a big awesome like, and Harry, definitely subscribe for tons more on E3 coverage Nintendo stuff. I'll be going, and I'm super excited. I cannot wait. Definitely look forward to a reaction of the Direct as it goes. I might actually just live stream it this year. Typically, I like to, you know, just do a highlight video of the Directs because they can kind of be longer, but this year just might make more sense to do that just because of a time crunch, and I don't know, it just, sometimes, I just don't want to sit around editing most of the first day of E3. I'd rather just go to the show. So we'll probably end up live streaming it, so definitely come on by if you want to do that, and obviously if you want to watch it on your own, you can do that, and the archive of the stream itself will go up on the channel afterwards, which you're happy to watch. But beyond that, look forward to coverage on the show floor. Maybe a vlog, gameplay stuff, I don't really know. Yeah, look forward to that. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya!